this issue of the Asian dependence on coal and other fossil fuels was obviously the pivotal point of COP26. Right up until the last minute, we had India and China and some of the other countries joining in sort of altering the language, watering down, some saw, on the phase out of fossil fuels versus the phase down. Do you think this is something, Rania, that is going to continue to be one of the breaking points, along with the fact that very little progress was made on the issue of compensation from the developed world to the developing world?
The whole issue of climate is bringing to the fore more forcefully the inequality that exists, and this is something that needs, it's calculated, it's historic, it's well known. So there's no shying away from it, or there's no ignoring it, or it's obvious, it's out there. Countries that have already industrialized and have grown, and there are the ones that are still in that process, but they are asked to carry on a very big burden, and that's why loss and damage fell short of what the expectations were, and that needs to be pushed even further. If we are talking about mitigation projects, for example, where the private sector can come in, and all these pledges also from the private sector, but they come in when a country is rated B and above. So how are you able to make use of all these commitments, which might be concessional? And that's why we need to bring in the multilateral development banks that have the capacity building that is required in many of the middle income or developing economies, and also to try and lower the risk, de-risk the finances, so that the countries can do the mitigation projects, which are going to actually fulfill some of these climate requirements. So, this inequality is there. It's a reality, and all the efforts, whether they are the pledges, whether they are the damage and loss, whether they are more emphasis on adaptation, all of these are trying to balance as much as possible. Of course, the tentative or the green shoot of the agreement between the U.S. and China, or the discussion, that is a step in the right direction. We have several months until the next meeting, so we expect there to be more engagement between both parties. These are very big players that really set the tone for what happens, and what they do really affects all other countries. It's a process, and that's why it's the all parties. It's the conference of all parties, not just one, but these parties have different weights on how they are affecting the climate, but also the expectations, and that's why. When we say, we need to think about showing on our side what we have done, how much we have been putting in. We were the first country to issue a green bond in the Middle East and Africa. We have, very clear targets when it comes to even the government projects, how much green they have to be over time. So we are trying to show by example that a country that is serious about its green recovery, but this also requires resources. And this is how we are coming up with these resources, either from the government budget or from borrowing from IFIs, from the international markets. But there is scope for trying to work around more concessional, more de-risking, more blended, more innovative. What sort of framework can we create so that us as well as other countries can benefit from all what was sort of started in COP26 and sort of action that during the next few months?